Since 1977 when the first movie came out. I saw it when I was 10 years old. So kind of blew me away, and I've been a fan ever since. I've been waiting for a good Star Wars movie for 30 years, so I wasn't too impressed with the prequels, as they call them. But I'm hoping this one kind of ties up some loose ends on the old characters and some new stuff, and be neat to see what happens with these characters after all these years.
I've been a Star Wars fan forever. Saw it when I was a little kid, saw it when Star Wars first came out many, many years ago. I don't know, it's almost like a connection to my childhood maybe, but there's also, it's just a really upbeat, positive movie for me.
I'm excited for the new movie because I think that it's going to be great, it's going to be a hit. There's already so much hype around it that it's just going to be probably one of the best films of the year.
We thought that the story had been told, like it was Anakin Skywalker from beginning to end, and now there's something else out there. We don't know what happened after the fall of Endor. There's just a whole universe to explore, and I'm so glad that they're kind of taking it and running with it. They're going to do a great job, I think.
It's J.J. Abrams is directing it instead of Lucas, and from what I've heard, it's got a really good storyline. Looks like it has some pretty good cinematic scenes in it, so it should be pretty good.
J.J. Abrams, I think, is going to do a good job, and the reason I say that is he is actually a real big Star Wars fan, and he is a fan making the movie for fans. I really liked the Star Trek movies, and he really wasn't even a Star Trek fan at the time, and he did such a good job with those. I can just imagine what he's going to do with this one.
I haven't seen too much of his other stuff, but I thought he did a good job with Star Trek, so hope he can kind of bring the Star Wars back to life a little bit.
I think it'll have some better dialogue, and I think the cinematography is going to be better with it being J.J. Abrams doing it. Plus, it's headed up by Disney, so it has a little bit of a deeper pocket.
I'm okay with Disney. Look at the Marvel Universe and all of the movies they've been cranking out and all of the money they've been making through that, and how just large that they've made a community grow out of just films. I think they're going to do really good with Star Wars.
I've tried not to watch too much and spoil it, you know. Kind of want it to be a surprise.
I watched the first couple trailers, and I actually forcibly stopped myself from thinking about what does that mean, what could this mean, because I started like obsessing about the trailers, looking at the little details and saying, oh, I know what that is, I know what that is. So I actually just want to be surprised. I've tried to avoid the movie or the TV ads. I've tried to avoid everything on the internet, which is impossible. But I just really want to be surprised.
I've not read a single thing about it, and I plan to keep it that way.
Back in the 70s, you know, it was kind of a different time. It was a difficult time for people. There was gas shortages and the Cold War and things like that, and I think it was a good story at a good time.
It's pretty huge in the sci-fi world, plus special effects. If you look back, you know, years before, about the same time Star Wars came out, you also had Battlestar Galactica. When Battlestar Galactica was being shot, when you were watching the film, you can actually see the strings that the ships were flying around on. If you look back to Star Wars, you don't see any of that, and it looks really real.
The movies would have come and gone, you know, if they didn't have a big following, if they didn't have a lot of people like me going, you know, time and time and time again. So it's that kind of commitment, that kind of buy-in from the community and from the world in general that kind of keeps this kind of stuff going.
I'm excited to hear that they're going to continue them. I mean, they've said there's going to be Star Wars movies for at least the next 7 or 8 years, so that's great.